Hey, this is Dean Odell with the Odell Group at 7 Gables Real Estate, and this is Tustin Talks. This is where we update you every 2 weeks for the current state of the market and specifically talk about the Tustin area on our next video. So we rotate those once a month. So let's talk about what's going on here in Orange County. We came off a very cold winter and it's starting to warm up here in the market too. So let me show you. Part of the problem is you can see right here how many homes are on the market compared to the previous years. Last year was the green line, we were all the way down here. So with that amount of increase in inventory, which for this time of year, we are up 62% in inventory over last year. So that is a big rise in the number of listings. We know the best time to sell a home is between now and mid-May because the most people are going to put their house on the market in May, but you don't get as many buyers showing up June, July, and August, as you do people putting their houses on. So now is definitely the time to get your house on the market. But if you have to know you want to sell it, okay? Because this market is all about pricing the house right, not pricing it ahead of the sales, and getting it sold fairly quickly. Moving on, what you're gonna find out is we got more sellers competing against each other. So last year we had 6,100 homes on the market in like June. Now we have it on in January. So this is the highest level we've had since 2012. Going into demand. Demand tells us what people did the last 30 days on the market as compared to last year. So when we look at the demand figures, we know that there's 1,435 homes that have gone into escrow in the last 30 days. Right now, we're down 23% on demand. Last year at this time, there was 329 more homes that went into escrow over that first 30 days. The current expected marketing time, the good news there is because people are buying and sellers are getting their houses priced right, we're down to 128 days right now. Last year at this time, we were at 64. So the market was moving at twice the speed last year. Now, when we look at the charts by price point, you can see the price points dictate kind of how fast the market's moving. So from 0 to 750,000, that share of the inventory is 44%, but it's 58% of the demand. So that's still a pretty good market, and it's a balanced market right now in that price range. 750 to $1 million is also a balanced market. And you can see as you go up in price range, it gets harder and harder to sell because of course there's less buyers available at the higher price ranges, and the time frame for getting those houses sold also goes up. The share of the housing as the price goes up is not in sync at all with the share of the current demand. So that's part of the issue as to why it takes time and it has to take the right price. So this next chart is the total pending demand, where we looked at demand before, but it was only over the last 30 days. But you have to understand there's houses that are still in escrow from 45 to 60 days ago. So this is year over year demand increase. And you can see where we are now marked by the orange line versus where we've been in previous years. Finally, we get to the closed sales as compared to last year. And when you look at that, you can also see by the orange line where we are compared to last year. In both pendings and closings, you can see that those are both down as well. Okay, so what does this all mean to you in the marketplace? If you're a buyer, it's still a great time to buy a house. Obviously, you want to buy one that's fairly priced, and you want one that you can take advantage of these long-term interest rates being low like they are. So it's still a good time to buy. The economy is not in the tank. Sure, we've got volatility, but this is not 2008, 2009. 99% of all homes being sold are still equity sales. The sellers have equity out there. This is not a distressed market. I think there were, if I recall, 57 foreclosures in the entire county, and that's out of tens of thousands of homes, obviously. So we are not in a distressed market by any means. Sellers, this means that the buyers are sitting on the fence and they're waiting, and they're coming out and they're looking at houses that are priced properly. So what you want to do is you want to pick the right agent that understands your marketplace, that understands how to price homes probably a good idea to have someone with some experience that's been through these kind of market gyrations like we have. This is our fourth cycle for my partner. This is nothing we haven't seen before. We can certainly help guide you through this process. We hope you give us a call or reach out to us if you have any questions. We'll be back in 2 weeks to talk a little bit more specifically about the Tustin areas. Thanks. Bye-bye.